The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
The first hunting trip of the season refuels a Sprint Cup superstar's appetite for adventure.
I test some of the hunting trips that I've been on to the way I race, and it's that grinded out method, because the one goal you have in mind is to try and get that big elk.
Now on Realtree's Nascar Outdoors. Outside the 47, one group higher than into the corner.
Realtree's NASCAR Outdoors, presented by Chevy Silverado, the fastest growing full-size pickup brand of 2015.
Hello everybody, I'm Bill Jerk, and many of you already know that I live for the outdoors. But like a lot of you folks, I'm also a big fan of the sport of NASCAR. The passion, the power, and the pursuit of victory. It's one of the most intense and exciting sporting events in America. Here on Realtree's NASCAR Outdoors, I have a chance to take some of the sport's biggest names out here in my world. Good friends, a common passion for the outdoors, and a great getaway from the fast-paced world at the track. One of the most inspiring young drivers in the Sprint Cup circuit, Austin Dillon was born to race. Growing up in one of the most successful racing families NASCAR has ever seen, Austin shares his grandfather's love for racing from a very young age. But being a worldwide hunter and conservationist, Richard Childress also shares with his grandsons his love for the great outdoors, a pursuit that's become a lifelong passion for Austin.
You know, I've come over here and see all this.
Yeah, Austin, he's hunted all over the U.S. and been to Africa, and you know, he loves to hunt, and you know, he'll tell you that, you know, this is just a good getaway for him to go hunting, and it's probably one of the things he's most passionate about.
You know, hunting presents so many great opportunities to be able to hang out with your family and create stories, because you know, you enjoy time with family at the racetrack, but it's your job. You know, it's a business, and it's run like a business. You have to go out there and perform, and that's where the pressure comes from. So it's nice to be able to knock a little pressure off, even though when you come to hunting camp, there is a little pressure to come through and take a big bull. So it's nice to be here, though, in a beautiful atmosphere.
I won't be able to see a long way yet for a while, but we'll go out to this lookout. There's some bulls over there. Sounds good. Just kind of play the wind. See what we see.
The challenges are, they're different every time. You never know. It's definitely interesting. I've been here 3 years and hunted many different ways to try and get on an elk. And when it comes down to it, you just have to put the effort in and get it done. Sometimes they're easier than others. You get hunts where last year we, first morning, we drive around the corner and the elk that we wanted was right there. The stalk worked out. We were able to take a ginormous bull. Look at the mass right here. That is awesome, man. Thank you so much. This is so cool. The first year I remember hunting the entire 4 days we were here as hard as you could, wanting to give up because you've walked every day, you're getting up early, and you're not stopping. You don't come in for lunch, you hunt hard, and then remembering that satisfaction it was to get that first bull here. That is awesome.
Nice.
And now this year coming back after such an easier year, the second year, and killing a big bull, you kind of forget what it's like to get after them. And this year the weather changed. It was a little harder hunting weather.
Well, you know, we had a snowstorm that first day, and I decided, you know, I just had wanted to hunt this area. You know, we hadn't been seeing a lot of elk coming down low in the past week, and we were supposed to get some snow, and it started snowing that morning. And you know, I was just I wanted to go back further than obviously what you can see, you know, glassing from vantage points and near the road. You know, hoping that those bulls, especially on a snowy day, are gonna kind of be maybe traveling a little bit.
The snow was coming down pretty heavy, and we went on a good nature walk, as Dax likes to call it, and we got in there and ended up being a death march, I think. We walked a long ways, and it was definitely a grind. We got to see some bulls, though. I was glad to get out there and do some moving, and and kind of get the wind back into your sails, because when you get out here, the elevation is so much different than what you're used to. The first hike's usually the toughest.
Having someone like Austin that you know is willing to walk and can walk, you know, and he'll enjoy doing it. And it definitely changes the way that I look at a hunt, you know, and those are the times that, to me, that where I'm willing to go back and hunt some spots that you don't normally get to go hunt. You know, that physically some other hunters might not be able to do it or might not enjoy going back there. So yeah, I kind of get a little bit in a different mode when I get a guy like Austin that's willing to just hunt hard and stick after it.
A hard hunt drives Austin Dillon through miles of rugged Wyoming backcountry in search of a mature bull.
There's a solid bull deep in the woods that we were in, and could see him through the spot and scope pretty good from a group of rocks.
Coming up on Realtree's NASCAR Outdoors.
Realtree's NASCAR Outdoors is brought to you by the most dependable, longest-lasting Chevy Silverado. By Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. And by Bill Jordan's Realtree, family, friends, and the outdoors.
Returning its grandfather's legendary #3 car to the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, Austin Dillon is on a mission to win yet another historic championship for RCR Racing. But away from the track, Austin chases his passion for hunting with just as much drive as a desire for racing. Here at Wagonhound Ranch in Wyoming, he and his guide Dax push deep into the backcountry, relentless in their pursuit for a mature bull.
I think I test some of the hunting trips that I've been on to the way I race, and it's that grinded out method, because the one goal you have in mind is to try and get that big elk, and it's just a great feeling when you get there, but the whole time you got that little guy on your shoulder telling you, hey, let's quit, let's go back, or why are we doing this? Why are we out in the middle of nowhere, or are we gonna make it back? And you just kind of keep pushing through it, and we have a great guide in Dax, and he likes to push too, and it's kind of cool to feed off of a guy that loves to hunt like that. Sometimes you gotta really work hard to get what you want, and that's one thing that hunting teaches you. It's not just easy. It takes a lot of effort to get out there and get after a good bull, because these animals are tough to hunt. You know, they're out, they live in the country where you can't find them, and that's what makes elk hunting such an accomplishment, because all the work that you have to put in to get to them and get back to where the big boys live.
Yeah, that first morning, I think it was probably 9 o'clock by the time we got further back in there, you know, kind of close to where I wanted to go. And we'd seen a bull laying, and you know, the snow was kind of starting to let up a little bit, so you could see, but the visibility was still a little bit cloudy. But we saw a bull, real nice bull, laying there by himself, and you know, a lot of trees around, so there could have been other elk with him, and we tried to get some different vantage points to see if we could see any more elk where this one was laying. And we looked at him pretty hard and thought about it. Just like I said, it was the first morning, and Austin and I talked, and it just, you know, we both agreed that, yeah, we might pass on that bull the first morning.
That bull we killed the first year, I think he's
comparable to that.
Yeah, or smaller, I think. Yeah. Just because the fours in that bull we killed the first year. I mean, he's got good fours, but...
He's got good 4s and 5s, and his 3rds are decent. His fronts aren't long, and he's just average. He's a good bull, but...
Average bull, you know, we like to pass on the 330s. We like the big dogs, 370s and up. That's how we do. Don't even blink an eye at a 350.
I've always wanted to kill one right there, though, man.
You want to kill one there?
I've always wanted to kill one right
Why?
Because it's awesome.
The view?
Yeah, that's how legends are made.
Back in the backcountry?
Yeah.
Is this that bad, though, when it's not snowing?
Huh?
Like, I feel like this isn't... I mean, I feel like we're back here, but compared to where we were the first year,
You guys want to go see McDonald Cabin?
Is that the way out?
Can be.
It don't matter to me. Whatever way we can walk and try and see elk on the way back to the truck.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't like walking the same way twice.
My fingers are getting cold too. Dax had mentioned about a cabin out in the middle of nowhere. And we get back in there, I'm like, there's no way there's gonna be a cabin out here because we're so out in the middle of nowhere and there's no civilization around here. I didn't think you could get enough supplies back there to make a cabin. And we walk up on this cabin and it definitely had been worn, but it was so cool because there was still a lot of supplies in there that somebody had used to live out there.
That was cool, this one. It's cool, isn't it?
It's pretty cool.
It's worth a detour.
Yeah. I love hunting just because of the time you spend with your friends and your family, the relationships you gain by being out here and introducing yourselves to new things. Walking up on that cabin, you know, that was a great experience I'll never forget. And you just try and gain little points in your memory, I think, and you'll always remember them because you put in the effort to get back in those places that people don't walk on very often. So it's fun and it always presents something new and a great story you can take home to your friends and family.
Austin Dillon pushes further into the Wyoming wilderness, determined to find an exceptional bull.
What do you think? Should I take him?
Next on Realtree's Nascar Outdoors. The grandson of legendary team owner Richard Childress, Austin Dillon grew up hunting and racing. With championships in both the Camping World Truck Series and NASCAR's Nationwide Series, Austin relies more than ever on his granddad's wisdom as he pursues the sport's most prestigious award.
You go through so much in racing as far as peaks and valleys that you have to go through, and you got to have people you can lean on and trust and believe in you. And I've been able to have that, people that really believe in me. And, you know, I have a lot of drive because of what my family has in RCR and the family business, and just wanting to take it to where it's been, you know, when Dale Earnhardt and my grandfather were at the top, and we're working hard to get it back there. RCR is close, and they're fighting for a championship right now. And anytime I can help and put my effort totally to that, it's special. So love showing all my support for RCR and pushing it as far as I can.
After a hard hike through some rough Wyoming backcountry, Austin and his guide Dax make some adjustments for the afternoon hunt.
We had a pretty big morning that the first morning. We ended up, you know, roughly probably a 10, 11 mile hike that we did. And so we were kind of ready to do some glassing that evening and you know, rest the legs a little bit. And we ended up spotting a good bull from a long ways away. We ended up getting closer and we got out of the pickup and we were gonna hike on those elk, try to get a better look at one and then possibly get a shot at him.
We got a couple bulls spotted up on the hill here. It's getting dark, so we gotta get up the hill and see if we can get a shot on one. One seems to be a pretty decent bull, so.
Worth a look up there to get a closer look anyway.
Yeah, see if we can't get on it.
So we took off and we were on our way to the elk and we jumped a mule deer out of the mahogany and she and her fawn ran over the hill straight towards the elk, and I kind of had a bad feeling it wasn't going to work out real well for us. So we ended up backing back down and climbing up in a little valley and getting up higher. We got up there and you know, we saw these elk up there, and instead of coming down to the creek, you know, in the evening to get water, they were on their way up. And you know, we tried, Austin got set up and he was, you know, getting on the bull. We determined the bull that we wanted to shoot, and he was a nice bull. By the time we got everything ready and we were set up to shoot, you know, the bull was probably a little further away than you know, was ideal.
He's 420, yeah.
What do you think? Should I take him?
Yeah, hold right at the top of his back.
And he took a shot and he you know, had a clean miss on the bull. So we thought it was a clean miss. We ended up, the bulls, you know, they kind of ran over the hill and kind of went through a rock gap. So you know, we hiked up there just to confirm that we missed. And you know, you could clearly see where these elk were and where they went through this rock gap in the rock. And you know, we looked all over till dark, and we couldn't find any blood. And you know, we were already pretty confident that he missed. So you know, I guess it was a little peace of mind knowing that he didn't wound an animal, and figured we'd go make a plan for the morning.
Realtree's NASCAR Outdoors is brought to you by the most dependable, longest-lasting Chevy Silverado. By Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. And by Bill Jordan's Realtree, family, friends, and the outdoors.
NASCAR Sprint Cup driver Austin Dillon spends the majority of the year pursuing victory at the sport's highest level. But his well-known passion for racing is equally matched by his love for the outdoors.
It gets down to the end of the year where we got 3 races left, and you're looking forward to getting out here to Wyoming to go hunting. It's kind of the start of our hunting season because the racing season's ending, and it's the first time you really get to get out and try to get in the outdoors, and that's something we love to do. And this is my first hunt trip of the year, and it's been that way for like 3 years now. So I'll be hunting from here on out, but it gets you jacked up for hunting season, and to be able to take home a big elk is just another great addition to being out here.
With only a short window to hunt, Austin and his guide Dax have one last evening to find a big Wyoming bull. But you can bet Austin's gonna give it all he's got, right to the bitter end.
You know what your goal is when you start a hunt. You know, especially you feel a little bit more pressure, it seems like, when you only have 3 days, and you know, you usually not always going to have the weather that that's ideal, but you know, you try to make the most of it. So Austin decided that, you know, he'd like to go back to where we went the first morning and saw that bull that he passed on, you know, thinking that there might be other elk in there as well. So we decided we're gonna go back in there that afternoon, and you know, it was a really windy day, so we were kind of looking to the spots where those elk are gonna be tucked away out of the wind.
Had a good game plan where we wanted to go. Didn't know what we were gonna see. We really got in there pretty early and weren't seeing much. So we decided to keep on pushing and get a little deeper to see what we could come up on. And we moved as quick as we could down through this valley where it was pretty windy at the time, but the wind was perfect for us. We could get pretty close, and we worked up over some sage and into a big rock. Climbed up on the rock, got up there, got set up pretty good, and Dax was really looking hard for the bull that we were after. He went on the other side of the rock, and there he was. It was about a 180-yard shot. I was trying to stand. I was standing as tall as I could, kind of on my tiptoes a little bit, trying to get to the shot down to him because he was below the rock a little bit. And the bulls above him were in a better place, but it wasn't the bull we were after. The big bull was lower. And my only worry was if the other bulls could see us, because we were eye level with the bulls above us. And finally, I was watching him and had a great rest. Still worried about getting up over the rock. But as he turned, he presented a good quartering away shot, and he turned and he looked, and you could see his antlers twist on both sides. And I was ready, squeezed the trigger off, and made a solid shot. And then he moved up the hill a little bit and made another shot that just kind of done him in.
He's good.
At the time, your adrenaline's pumping. You don't even know where you're shooting across. The bull's there, and you know he's 180 yards, but you're not looking down or across or looking at the area you're in. We all kind of forgot that that elk was on a side hill with a flat face rock.
I think we're gonna earn this one.
We're a ways from the truck.
I was beginning to
worried
think you were
about-
crazy.
Well, I'm beginning to think I am too. Look where he's at.
Oh, man.
If he'd have fell
We're gonna need
another 10 feet, he'd have fell 500 feet down in the canyon.
And then we noticed where he was. You're like, man, how are we going to get to him? We made the hike over there pretty quick and got down to him, and it was such a steep hill. I mean, he is on an incline that you know, billy goats live on, not elk. Holy cow. Look where this one's at.
We spotted him up there by those rocks.
Oh, cross
Clear on
these.
almost the skyline. And then shot from these rocks straight across.
You know, the whole time I was just looking around, thinking about, okay, how are we going to get this out? And you know, kind of thought, well, we'll take care of what we can tonight. I'm going to come back in with horses tomorrow and hopefully be able to get horses where we were standing. But anyway, it was a pretty neat accomplishment, I think, just to, you know, to hunt hard like that and have such a sense of, you know, I guess, accomplishment that, you know, you really worked for an elk. And
Still a really good bull, man.
Yeah, good job, buddy.
Thanks, Dax.
That's a accomplishment in just the work.
I got the opportunity to take a great bull, but I tell you what, we worked hard for him. We pushed hard all the way to the back of the property and got some pictures, and it was a successful hunt. And you know, Dax said that's what you gotta do. You gotta work hard to get a good bull, and we worked hard. I'm glad he pushed us and got us back there on him.